I'll tell you this much. Buffalo chiropractors, you guys are going to be in some good business the next couple of years because your fans are going to be jumping off a lot of things if the Bills don't.
All right, Mike. The question is, are the Bills a bad team? And you know what? I'm going to side with Scott Van Pelt on this one and say I might end up just saying it until it... I don't know. I might be completely wrong on this, but I think the Bills are still a good team. They're just not playing well.
I don't think they're a bad team, Dirk. I just think that at this juncture, they are pretty much rocked to their core. They've lost so many guys on defense, and then you look at the talent pool on offense, and it's just not as strong, and it's not scaring people as much this year. I think Buffalo can get back into the playoff hunt. That schedule, though, is really tough. I don't think this is a Super Bowl team. There's absolutely no way.
They got to do something to find. I know the defense is a glaring issue with the amount of injuries and not having a number of Milano's not even going to be a part of the team the rest of the season, right?
Yeah,
that's a big loss for him, and I know that's some glaring holes. I think you can get around that if you had a balanced offense. You're making Josh Allen do way too much. He goes into hero mode, and we all know what happens when he goes into hero mode, right? So until Fournette comes around, which I think that's a long shot to fix the running game. I don't think it's the running back position that's causing it because you're seeing what Singletary's doing in Houston right now.
Right.
So my point is, you got to fix the offense, and it's going to have to go through a full restructuring. And I'm sorry, the really good player in Diggs, I don't think he stays around. He's the second highest salary cap issue. And then next year, you're right, he goes into salary cap hell. Josh, love you. You got to restructure your contract
massively
for the sake of the team. And honestly, I don't know what else you're going to do. Otherwise, you're going to just go into would you rather be remembered or would you rather get payment? Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, it's when it comes down to he's gonna have to cut $20 million off that contract.
I understand that.
It's rough. I'll tell you this much, Dirk. The Bills, if they don't pull a miracle out this year, might be screwed.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. It's not just if they cut Diggs, there's a huge dead cap hit. Von Miller, they have to cut, and even if they cut him, it's going to be $16 million dead cap. Josh Allen's salary goes from $18.5 million this year to $46 million or something around that next year, and then up to $56 million the following year. So really, I just don't know what they do. Allen, the thing that concerns me about him too is I think he's taken so many hits over the last X number of years that his career is starting to trend kind of the way Cam Newton's did. Cam is this unstoppable weapon until he starts to slow down, but then he's not quite the same player if he's a pocket passer. Now, Josh has better arm talent than Newton, but I'm just not convinced that he's quite... I mean, there's one quarterback who's worth that kind of money, and it's Pat Mahomes. It's not anyone else.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I think, though, the NFL makes this so interesting because they have a salary cap, right? And it actually is... It makes it tough. It's not the NBA where you have, potentially 6 to 7 guys that you really need to pay. You have 22 guys at minimum that you need to pay.
Right.
And even more after the specialists and whatnot. So I guess my point here is that I think you need to start seeing a rebalancing of how positions are paid. And I would say, hey, Josh Allen, look, I think that, again, I'm a huge Josh Allen fan. I think Josh Allen became famous in the NFL because of fantasy. Let's be completely honest here. It has not much to do with the Bills Mafia. It has not much to do with the draw of the crowd to the Bills. That is not your America's team, although I love the Bills and everything like that. They are not the Cowboys putting up revenue like crazy left and right. He doesn't have the same stage. I think he is a fantasy wonder that has made him as a national interest, right?
He had a bit of a blue-collar appeal to him, I think. There's something
so then show the blue-collar values, and let's be a leader. Let's restructure the contract so that you can get other folks in to make your career something that you can, make it last longer. Because otherwise, I see Josh Allen as a 2-year quarterback before he gets traded or before there's calls to move on.
My man just had to get paid, Derek. I'll tell you this much. Buffalo chiropractors, you guys are going to be in some good business the next couple of years because your fans are going to be jumping off a lot of things if the Bills don't. I think that Buffalo, it's just tough, man. They were so close 2 years ago. Although I will say, even if they win that Chiefs playoff game, I'm convinced they don't win the Super Bowl. The Rams are going to win that year regardless. But Buffalo was so close to getting back. That 13-second game at Arrowhead was a soul-crushing defeat. And honestly, it's going to take like a miracle turnaround to get back and get into contention.
Yeah.
Only way that they do it that I foresee is they knock it out of the park with like 2 rookie draft classes in a row. That's the only way Buffalo gets back into the Super Hunt.
I 100% agree with you. And also, they have really won on the backs of that defense. There's been heroics, obviously, from Josh Allen. Totally understand that. And from Diggs. But that defense is what's holding them in championship caliber territory, right?
Yeah.
With how injured they are, it's not happening this year. It's just not. They're a good team, but it's not happening this year. And your running game has been trashed for so many years. Fix the damn running game. And it starts with investing in offensive linemen that can start, giving the push and driving towards a much better scheme. We're saying the same thing here, Mike. I think they're a good team. However, it's not happening this year.
No, one last note, too. Vaughn, I know you're going to get cut, but you got paid, man. Next year, please come back as a vet, man. We'll take you back.